Okay, hello guys. This is my first ever tutorial of here in Valorant. So, as you can already tell, I'm a Brimstone player based on the videos that I uploaded, and whenever I go live, I only use Brimstone. So, a new map was just released about 2 days ago. It's called Summit, and from the look of this map, it's very beautiful and serene, and it's just very tranquil ambient environment to it. So this is the attacker sided spawn. So I'm not going to give it a complete tour of this map. I'm just going to give a Brimstone lineup tutorial. So this is my first ever Brimstone lineup tutorial. So this is the attacker spawn, and if we're gonna go to the A site right here. So I've actually don't know. I've never seen any other tutorial in video. So all of these lineups are my original lineups. So I actually made it to custom like a few hours ago, and I did it myself. So I don't know which location of the A site is the default plant spot. But I've concluded for myself that it would be ideal for my default to be around around here. This would be my default plant spot. There will be a special reason for that. I will explain it later down the video. So I would like to plant it here.
Got the spike.
Or around here.
Right here.
Here. Okay, let's start. So the first thing, the first lineup that I want to teach is the A main lineup. So the first one, right over here. So if you don't have your ult yet, so this would be your go-to. But the only thing that I find key about this lineup spot is that you're very prone and vulnerable to whoever wants to peek you in this area in the middle right here, in an A garden. But if I ever want to do a lineup here, I would go in this area, right here in this corner. And then, my reference point would be this spot right here. So this kind of like bushes that's sticking out.
Right here.
Right here. And then I would try to point it to this squiggly line right here. I don't know how to call it, but then boom. It lands about 8 seconds. It takes about 8 seconds before it lands. And it covers the default that I concluded earlier. So let me just lower the volume right there. Okay, but now, like I said, I would probably go maybe round 2 to round 1 of the start of the round, or the pistol round. I would more often than not try to go with this lineup, because I don't have any other utils, I don't have any ult to play with, so this is it. But if you think that the enemies are rushing you, they're about to defuse, and you don't have enough time to do this lineup, because like I said, it takes about 8 seconds to land, so you can just do this simple lineup, straightforward. Your reference point would be this white area thingy right here, and just throw it, just like that. There you go. Okay, the second lineup spot that I would do in A main is right here, and like I said, the only downside of this lineup, if the enemies doesn't smoke the A main just like this, you're pretty much very vulnerable from the A garden. So, but if they do smoke you, I would recommend that you do this lineup if you don't have any other utils to play with. So the reference point would be this right here. That would be my reference point, and then I just do a normal throw. It takes about 8 to 9 seconds to land, so it would take a lot of time. Oh, that's a fail. I made a mistake. Hold on, let me just rectify that. Right over here. I think you need to point it outside this bush right here. Or was it the one? Yeah, that's the one. So I think you need to point it outside the bush right there. So, but like I said, if they don't smoke you you're very vulnerable and susceptible to attacks from the A garden right here, which is a bummer. So, but if they do smoke here from A main, I would recommend that you would go this lineup. Now, the lineup that I would prefer most of the time, because what I like to do is I usually have a teammate plan it for me, especially if there's a gecko. Maybe I would like to try to go right here, because I'm kind of like a ratty player. So I would go to this A lobby
Right
over here and go to this pillar. And this would be my lineup spot. I'll just try to point my crosshair at the middle of this pillar. And then my reference point is right here.
Right here.
Just grab an op. So it would be this one.
Right here.
That one. And then I would point it with the squiggle line. Right here. And boom.
Molly.
Same with the other line. It takes about 7 to 8 seconds to land. But while it's landing, in the process of it landing, what I like to do is I throw it, and I immediately run down mid. Hopefully there's no flank for this scenario. Even if I don't have ults to play with, but it would be more ideal if you have an ult. And then this is the reason I would like to plant that spot that I told you earlier here, because when I wrap down mid, it's very easy for me to pick down the diffuser right here. So even if I don't have an ult, it would take me roughly around 6 to 7 seconds to wrap down mid, and boom, I would instantly kill the diffuser, considering that there would be no one around mid flanking me. So that would be the ideal scenario.
Molly.
Go down mid. And I would start walking maybe around here. Maybe, okay, here. Start walking. And then, boom, boom. And there's, that would be then, basically that's the reason why I want to plant that spot in the A side. Another lineup that I invented myself was, like I said, if you have a gecko, this would be ideal. Do not do this if you don't have an ult. So this lineup spot is only ideal if you have an ult, or maybe you have a teammate who's a gecko and he would plant a spike for you. So whenever the gecko goes down A mid, you would just be lurking around. I mean A side. The gecko would be planting A side. It would just be lurking down here in mid. And you would instantly go to your lineup spot. And then my reference point would be this.
Right here.
My reference point would be this, and then I would just put it in the middle, like the tip of the flame of the molly. I would just put it in the middle right here. I would instantly go ult, and then boom. There you go. I think that's it. So like I said, I don't have any lineup for other lineup spot for all intents and purposes for my play style, which I usually plant the spike here. Maybe these are sufficient for my play style. Now let's go to B. Like I said, I haven't found any YouTube videos or any official, I should have called this, like any official Reddit that says where the default spot for the spike. But basically, if you're gonna play A main most of the time, if you're gonna play defense, retake, I would say that this would be the default one. I don't know. I've never found any videos, but I would say this is the default spot. Right over here.
Got the spike.
So let's start with the basic one. For the basic one, I would try to go right here and aim for maybe the tip of the lantern right here, and then just throw. It would bounce from the wall over there, and it would land in the spike. And then the second one is right here. So the second one would be right here. I haven't actually found a lineup spot here because it's very difficult.
Smoke's down.
So the only thing that I figure out was better. This. And then I would try to. My reference point is this.
Right here.
And then I would try to put the lower tip of the flame molly here, just like that. Not exactly on top of that, but just right next to on the left side, somewhere like this.
Molly.
And it would land over there, like that. Now, if you have an ult, and you have a gecko or anyone or any teammate to plant a spike for you, I would like to go down here in mid. I don't know in tiles. This is my lineup spot. My reference point would be this.
Right here.
And I would just throw it there. It would take like 7 to 8 seconds again to land. 8 to 9 seconds, I'm not sure. You bounce one. And then while it's landing, I would wrap down mid. Right here, start running. Start running. Run. Start walking. And then I would wrap down the backside. And then, pow, kill the diffuser. But if you have an ult, go back down mid, same lineup spot, same reference point, then boom. While it's landing, you go down mid again. And then, instead of going there, I would go further down, deeper into their spawn. Because I have an ult while I'm counting, because Molly takes about 7 seconds before it dissipates, and then I would ult.
Open up the sky.
Then after that, boom boom. Just like that. Okay, so basically that's it. I don't have any other. I've just been to this map, never been to an actual game. So if I've ever been into actually, I will tell you what I think about this, if these are effective. But basically that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you can use this lineups that I invented myself, and good luck with your games. I hope you win. Bye.